Hello and welcome to We All Love Leeds, the show where we discuss our love of Leeds United. I am Mr. Tom, and apologies for my subdued demeanour, but I am a bit under the weather this evening, so just trying the best I can, I suppose. Thank you for joining me. Ben is unavailable this evening, unfortunately. But such is life, and you know what I mean. But as always, Ben says hello. Well, I'm sure he does anyway. So yeah, it's wasn't the most fantastic week, was it? From Wednesday onwards, I suppose. Shit happens, I suppose. So let's just get into it right now with get a hot toddy down your get well soon. Yeah, it's alright. I'm ill a lot more than people would know. I'm just usually better at hiding it. But anyway, that being said, thank you though, Jimmy. It's Ben did send this in to me. He did send some stuff in to me, to be fair to him. But he did do us a new Sunday roast. Bless him. He Simpsoned it up a bit. If you ever feel useless, just remember Joe Kinnear once scouted Shane Ferguson and recommended him to the Newcastle board despite already being a Newcastle player. I'd use stronger words than that to describe myself. But thank you, Conte. Very kind of you. I mean, part of the reason I'm still doing it is because I already had the stuff made. So it'd be silly to not do it or not present it for Director John and Ben work hard on the stuff they do, so it's wrong to not show their work. This was Klopp comforting his unused sub yesterday. I did find it quite interesting in their game that they got the ball from a drop ball despite Nottingham Forest being in possession of the ball before the end of the drop ball. I just said words there. I don't even know what half of them meant. Anyway, that was Trent Alexander-Arnold the last time Man United won the Champions League. I mean, to be fair, he's lucky Carragher hasn't spat on him at that point. I'd usually say allegedly, but he was on camera doing what he did. So, ref there in DP Cake. Good evening, Ryan of the Mr. Arsenal podcast. He does good content, so please give him a follow if you can. Even if you're not an Arsenal fan, does do good content. Not necessarily always Arsenal watch-alongs or things like that either. So there's stuff to be found there. And Ryan, I did message you back. Just a bit of sleep most of the day, if I'm being honest. Forest fans are whinier than Everton fans. They are, but actually, I don't know. Everton fans are pretty whiny. But that, for what I saw, that goal yesterday was, pardon my language, it was bollocks. But them are the breaks, isn't it, when you're a top six team. Speaking of I wasn't speaking about Man City or Man United, so forget that. Let's pretend I was. Speaking of Man City and Man United, Liverpool scored a controversial 98th minute. Oh, actually, I could have segued this. I forgot this was part of it. Liverpool scored a controversial 98th minute goal against Nottingham Forest to get 3 points yesterday. Now Man City are going to take out their fury on Manchester United. Which then caused the Man United fans, obviously, to get their "we're about to play Man City today" kit. Match fixing, simple as that. There might be something to that. Well, I say that. I don't know why Liverpool got the ball from the drop ball when Nottingham Forest originally had the ball. That I will need explanation on, personally. Also, speaking of failures, Harry Kane. Did you know he would have won 3 trophies by now had he stayed at Norwich? But prior to that, here was Harry Kane as an employee of the WWF. This person, whoever it is, ran out of fingers to count Haaland's goals against Luton. The 4th one to the right. That's a fun, baby. That is a fun. Yeah. Hello, CB. How you doing? Welcome. Last one before we get into the games. Broadcasters, you're always showing us tinfoil FA Cups. What is it with you? We just think they're neat. I've always suspected that there's a plant at ITV or the BBC like that puts them out there, because I can't imagine in good conscience in 2024 someone actually sits at home and makes one of these things. I can't imagine it. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong, though. Anyway, so let's get on to the start of the week's disappointment. And as requested by Ben, it was a night game, so we're going with nighttime footage. That is Stamford Bridge above with the surrounding London area. May I ask why, Mr. Conte? For anyone listening, not watching, he said the FA Cup was in Connecticut this week. I've heard of tin pot cups, but not tin foil. There's one everywhere when there's a televised game in the FA Cup. I promise you. They will always, and they'll always manage to spot it in the crowd. Funny that. ESPN's headquarters. Oh, okay. Yeah. Should go somewhere, I suppose. That was it from closer up. And that is Stamford Bridge on the inside during the night. I know. The grass is green, which surprises me because if the place is a toilet, you'd expect there to be some more brown. But anyway, so this was the lineup for Chelsea: Sanchez, Gilchrist, Disassi, Chalobah, Gusto, Maduke, Caicedo, Enzo, Mudryk, Sterling, and Jackson. Leeds United turned up at the Bridge with an equally second string team, well, give or take, with Meliango, Roberts, Firpo as on the flanks, Rodon, Cooper, Ampadu, Gray, Jayden Anthony, Daniel James, Piru, and Matteo Joseph. Fitting that they put him in the picture. Chelsea decided to go with a 4-2-3-1. To be honest, I don't know if that's what they usually deploy because I stopped watching the Premier League about 9 months ago now. So I don't know. You tell me. This is how the heroes of Leeds United line up. And So Chelsea don't even have a fancy. This is our tin pot layer. Don't even have a fancy graphic ready for the start of the game. Tin pot. Because having a good tweet game is what really matters in football. Anyway, they've also got an American department of their fan base. That's funny that. So here we go. Early in the game, Jaden Anthony, I believe, closes down from a goal kick. And what's interesting about this is that it caught the broadcasters by surprise because we never saw the goal live in England. From me personally, while I was sat at work, we got the replay of it because they were showing a replay, not expecting Leeds to press Chelsea from their goal kick, and we retrieved the ball. Joseph, it was then immediately played from Anthony to Joseph, who just bangs it in, and goal. Nice that they gave him like a photo and stuff to do his thing. Chelsea's reaction to this was goal for Leeds, Joseph. To which one their fan said, "I genuinely don't understand how we manage to look like such crap every damn week." And disgrace. I didn't know Arteta was on the Chelsea. What do you call it? Twitter. But anyway. Unfortunately, I haven't had to use this for a while, but Caicedo plays through Jackson. Jackson shoots. Jackson scores. Goal Chelsea, Nicholas Jackson, etc. Their fans hit our Twitter. Well, one of them hit our Twitter with karma. I don't know what that means. Karma. Oh well. Sean said poor defending and goalkeeper. Yeah. It's unfortunate that happened, but I'm not in the business of attacking Junior Firpo, and so he's never at fault for anything in my opinion. So on we go, and obviously they had to get some use out of the Nicholas Jackson photograph they took. So there you go. Unfortunately, again. CB with Karma Chameleon. Good song back in its day. Good song. So Sterling pulls it back. Mudryk shoots. Mudryk scores, and 80 odd million gets you a goal against the Championship side in the FA Cup on midweek Wednesday night. Well done. Obviously, Leeds just tweeted that goal. Mudryk gives the home side the lead. Factually true. To which, is it the same guy? Do it again. It is the same guy. So he's camped on our Twitter on a Wednesday night. So that's good to know. That's how he spends his free time. And relegation team. And obviously the song from Kesler SZN. Oh well. Chelsea put up Mudryk again. Again, when you pay 80 million for a player, you'd probably want to see this more often, but them to the breaks, I suppose. Chelsea half time, very, very smug with themselves. And I'll be honest, I was fearing the worst at this point. Because deep down, we all just want to put in a good showing, of course. Why wouldn't you want to? And obviously, Leeds tweet half time. Chelsea have the advantage, first 45 minutes, etc. The things I just said happened, or what happened. But magic then happens nearest the hour, let's just say, or 59th minute, nearest. Yeah. Anyway, so Archie Gray punts over the long ball. Anthony controls it with such grace and flair. It was delicious, to be fair to him. And then puts in the cross. It's in mid-air. Joseph, that man again. Goal. I was a bit shocked at this point. But, hello, Alex. How you doing? with "It's that lad again." Chelsea, their tweet to this was Leeds equalise again, or Leeds equalise Joseph again, sorry. One guy saw fit to actually post a replay of the goal in the comments. Hello Ross, how you doing? And Mr. Tom, how the devil are you? I've had better days. Been coming at it's at the start, but obviously you can't be blamed for not hearing it. Just feeling a bit off, to be honest, sick, coming down with the flu, I suspect. But anyway, especially with Leeds proving that yet again they can't defend with this current crop of players against Premier League teams. So there is obviously something to that, yeah. I mean, we did well to not make it worse, I suppose, when it could have got rather nightmarish, I think it's fair to say. Or rather, we did well to go from when it went 2-1 in like the 37 roughly, we did well to then hold out till half time, not concede. Because if it had gone 3-1, it'd have been floodgates. But that didn't happen. And then we ended up making it 2-2. Further Chelsea reaction included, I thought we should have sacked the coach. I thought we have sacked the coach, sorry. Son of James saying, "What's wrong with you people? Rest Noni now. He's not in this match. Well, why would you rest him if he's not in the match? Anyway, what are you good at? Over 1.5 goals says what? And Debbie Chelsea says, you people want me to cry again today. When else did she cry? Not that I like anyone crying, but you know what I mean. Anyway. So we do our thing. We pepper them in the second half. In my opinion, it could have gone either way. The one thing I really didn't want to happen was it go to extra time. Because then in the lead up to that, I think we were preparing for that. And then we started chucking on Nonto, Somerville. And I was really afraid we were going to see Ruter. But didn't have to because... How you doing, Auckland? And Chelsea are a weird bunch. They are something. Just... And then Enzo plays the ball into Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher turns the defender. I mean, that was nice. It was like being fair. And then bangs the goal in. And I'm not going to get all celebration policey, but there was a little bit to that where it was like, he really hates us. But if we'd have done that to him, we'd have done it to him. So fair's fair. Anyway. Goal, Chelsea, host take the lead. This time through Conor Gallagher, trying to focus on the league. Nigerian, blessing D bless, wrote almost $700. You put 700 on Leeds to beat Chelsea. Anyway. And then, you know, whatever. Mr. Leeds coins. I ain't that clever. Melier bad. I don't know, but he's not. I personally, and I'm sure many will disagree, I personally feel the only reason he's still at the club is because no one bid for him in June or July. Or you know, I mean, transfer window. No one bid for him. I can't prove he was agitating for a move, but I just suspect that would have been the case had there been a bid. But then by the same token, you tend not to be... There's not much of a market for a goalkeeper that's conceded 100 goals in 2 seasons. So anyway. I could be entirely wrong. But anyway. Chelsea are all like, yeah, like, you know, like... Again, not to get celebration policey, but come on, lads. Get the perspective. Quarterfinals. Chelsea full-time are like quarterfinals here. We can't where they've got Leicester. Leeds say no shame in that performance. The lads gave good account themselves. Our focus now switches back to the league. Does it now? We'll see. We'll see. What's Leeds' defensive attributes? We defend okay in the Championship, or dare I say, one of the better defending teams in the Championship. Problem is that the level is so different that it's hard to tell where who's going to be able to make that step up. I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, Arsenal level of celebration. Well, everyone knows when Arsenal do it, it's wrong. It's not allowed. But yeah, whatever. Leeds wait for quarterfinal continues 22 years now. Probably. Never really put much thought into Leeds and the Cups, to be honest. Be singing for the Foxes in the next round. I know we got to the quarterfinal in '98, I think it was, because then we lost to Wolves. A Wolves team that were in the Championship, the equivalent of the Championship. Was it out of Portsmouth? I don't know. Be singing for the Foxes in the next round. I'll be singing for extra time. Because anything that can, harm their chances, I suppose, of getting the top two, it's probably fair to say we should be looking for. But yeah, anyway, so that being said, I suppose we should move on to the John Smith Stadium. That would be something. Well, it'd be good for Leicester because they'd probably win it. Hello, Spencer. How you doing? I did find out that legally this stadium is the Kirklees Stadium when it was first built, but they've never actually called it that because they've always had a sponsor, to my knowledge, mainly known as the McAlpine Stadium. And then I believe their current sponsorship is with the John Smith's beer. But anyway, one of my favourite beers, actually, to be fair. But that's the inside of it. That's actually a pretty full stadium there, to be fair, when Leeds are not there. Their lineup is Nichols, Pearson, Hogg, Bergzorg. Really? Rudoni, Thomas, Spencer, Casamu, Ward, Tom Lees, and Nakayama. Anyway, Leeds went with Melier, Gray, Firpo, Rodon, Ampadu, Gruev, Camera, Somerville, Nonto, Jorginho, Ruter, and Bamford. And look at him, looking there like little scamp. He's probably just dropped a deuce in the changing rooms and blamed someone else for it. I don't know. Huddersfield are a bunch of beloved aunts. See, Curve. Oh, it's funny you say that. But are you referring to a see you next Tuesday? Let's just say. Tell me about the Archie family. Who started the family legacy? I believe the first player for Leeds with that name was Eddie. There was also Frank, but did Frank play for Leeds? Andy, obviously Archie. But anyway. This is how Huddersfield lined up. I suspected that 5-man midfield would become an 8-man defence very quickly, but to be fair to them, he didn't need to. So obviously Bamford up top. Generally, it's a team that picks itself at this stage. Like most managers by this stage of the season know their preferred 11. Greetings, Mr. Tom and all. Hello, Mark. How you doing? And thanks, Tom. Huddersfield kicked the match off. Even Huddersfield have a picture, unlike that Tim Pot Chelsea. Here we go. Leeds miss early chance. For the life of me, I don't know why we didn't shoot. Trying to walk the ball into the net. There's a million things in this, to be honest, where I could like go, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you give the ball left to Somerville, for example? And then the game obviously wouldn't have turned out the way it did. Franks' great-grandfather played for Leeds twice, left for Forest to win 2 European Cups, came back to Leeds and got relegated. Well, okay. My faith in humanity got restored the other day when I saw an 80-year-old woman give up her seat for a fat, pregnant, bearded man. Are you sure he's pregnant? Anyway, hello, Colonel. How you doing? Rudoni had a chance not long after that, where he had another one not long after that from the corner, the resulting corner, to which Huddersfield, they describe essentially every minute of the game via a series of tweets, which obviously Leeds do not. But yeah, basically save, etc. You wouldn't know they were good saves though, because commentator Andy Hinchcliffe just says they're saves you'd expect him to make. So why wouldn't you expect your goalkeeper to make a save as if like that's not impressive still? Ben usually gets really annoyed with Hinchcliffe, but he got my go on this day. You'd think he was the world's greatest footballer, or you think he's the world's greatest goalkeeper. No matter what it is, he's just, I know what I'd have done, and I'd have done it well. Anyway, sorry. Oh, fuck that guy. Anyway, Leeds point out both sides counter-attacking. Obviously, we would have preferred it if Huddersfield had not been playing as well as they were. Some are going to say they didn't play well. They were doing lots of fouls. Well, this is where we acknowledge that. Tackles flying in as it starts to get feisty. Big challenges. To be fair, they were picking up bookings for it generally, to be fair to the ref. Hello, Director John. How are you, sir? This is the man that makes most, if not all, of this possible. This is, I don't have a photo for it, but this is where Camera gave the ball away from our corner, and then essentially nothing. It was either we had a corner or free kick, but he basically gives the ball away, and it took Archie Gray to like track back and basically recover the ball. That should have been a warning sign. Keane with 1 Ipswich, 2 Leicester, 3 Preston. Okay. You're entitled to your opinion. I'm pretty sure your Preston one is wrong, but okay. No problem. That being said, hold 1 second. Because free kick whipped in, Melier makes the initial save, but pushes it straight back out to Hellick, who had just came on after a tackle which I believe it's Hogg makes a dirty, disgusting tackle on Somerville, who then falls onto one of their players. I think it's Nakayama, could be wrong, who then had to get substituted after a lengthy break. To which Leeds tweet out, obviously, goal Huddersfield. Hellick gives the host the lead. Big shout director John. That's exactly right. Pearson. He gets on the header. Tabby, who I don't know who he supports, but it's probably one of the teams. Leeds are falling apart again. That's original. Relegation clause tweets out pathetic. Kyle said awful first half. Thomas King wrote, that's woof. If you know, you know. And yeah, so Huddersfield tweeted, welcome back to our top score. I'm sure he's defender. He's their top score. I know he's midfielder, so excuse that. So actually, just a lie. I don't know what position he is. I do know he was in the way that rebound though. So yeah, that was it. They claimed they were great value for it, and to be fair, they probably were because we weren't very good, and we weren't good because they made sure we weren't. That being said, more of their fans were like, "Let's effing go, get in." I think that's up the Terriers. Keep it going, get in, your beauty. Always like Huddersfield. I believe that's an Ipswich fan. Anyway, it was like that. But then, to be fair, what you're going to find is all the games where we never picked up points away from home have a similar pattern. As in, we don't score early on after missing an early chance. They then realise that the best way to disrupt us is to either low block us or break the game up. But again, we have no divine right for teams to let us win. Which it's annoying, but at the same time, it's on us to ensure that these things don't happen, or we rise above them, or however you want to call it. But a lot of people have decided to go with they're a bunch of pricks, basically, because they foul us a lot, and they did. But that don't excuse why we weren't shooting, why we were taking 100 touches in the box instead of just like getting space and shooting as such. But it is what it is, I suppose. Turning point in the game, I suppose, comes when Hogg tries to murder Junior Firpo. Of course, even Andy Hinchcliffe, noted prick, Andy Hinchcliffe, sorry, to be fair to him, says that is a deliberate elbow. For the sake is, at the height he's at, you would be pushing him in the chest if you were actually trying to give yourself space on the ball. No one actually moves their elbow upwards in such a motion. They can't be all gems. Thank you for that, Director John. Some perspective there. Much needed at some stage, I suppose. But yeah, luckily he only got a red card. I personally think he should have to spend a night in prison for daring to rub his elbow against the face of Sir Junior Firpo, the son of Senior Firpo. But as they tweet, red card. It's how often do you get a Twitter account actually just acknowledge that someone should have been sent off before they were? Actually, I don't know. I don't read many other team Twitter accounts. So I don't know. They could all say it. Just pretend they don't. But Bombhead, 1977, I'm assuming that's the year of his birth, said Andy Hinchcliffe droning on about the Huddersfield game plan. We can all see what that plan is. Well, yeah, to disrupt us, which they did, somewhat successfully. But Andy Hinchcliffe is a knob. Because he was talking, he weren't basically acknowledging the fouls such and all that. He's like, oh, they're putting on an attacking masterclass. He's probably not said those words, but we can pretend he did, even if he didn't. Anyway, Mr. Tom, how are you? I've had better days, Mr. Taib. Well, I'm sure I'll be fine in a few days. Leeds need to change their salmon kit. That salmon kit is a thing of beauty when we win games. I know. I've always had an affinity for the awful, colourful kits. The ones I don't like are when we go with the dark green, dark blue stripes. Like, that's drab. That's awful. If you're going to be awful, do it with a bit of flair. Pink and yellow or something like that, whatever. But anyway, half time. I like how they've gone 10-man town lead going in. It's factually true, but I like how they've made that as if they got that red card in the first minute. It's like the man was red carded 45 minutes into a 50-minute half. Cheeky. That's all I'm going to say. Very cheeky of them. Leicester are done. They'll bottle the 12. Let's hope so. Even though I've got my theories on who is going to win it. I believe this gentleman, Johnny Cooper, he supports Leeds, but I believe he works for Opta. But he did say the ball was in play for 22 minutes and 33 seconds in the first half. Not surprisingly, the lowest in the first half of any Leeds United Championship match this season. Again, successfully disrupting our rhythm because Leeds can't play the excellent football that we have done across the last 10 games if the ball's not in play and the clock is running. So Chris Shaw replies, if you think that's bad, prepare yourself for the second half. This is going to be turgid. Oh, we all feared the worst at this point, Chris. But DGen Dad writes, the Dog Brothers playing football the only way they know how. Fouls, and a few set pieces. That stat is startling for a home team. Leads with 80% possession away. I mean, that is a lot. But I do find it amusing, personally, right? A lot of fans, like Leeds fans, are not going to like what I'm about to say, but I do find it very amusing when we get upset about the disruptive tactics of the other team when our nickname is Dirty Leeds. Like, we are notorious for this kind of shit. And just because we haven't done it since Bielsa walked through the door, all of a sudden it's like, oh, how dare teams not try and play football? Why would they try and play football against us? Ipswich tried to play an expansive game against us and we beat them 4-0. Because as soon as they come forward and we won the ball, we were like, bang, let's go into the space where Leif Davis should be, but he's not. And we scored. But anyway. Probably got myself booted out of the fan base for that. But anyway. Hope not Ipswich, crappy team. I have my opinions on them, don't you worry. Lucky fuckers. Anyway, sorry, what? In the second half, James gets the ball to Roberts. Roberts pings it across the goal. It goes across Peru. Bamford manages to get goal side on the defender. Back of the net. Goal. And I thought the unlikely would have been possible. Huddersfield, they react to this. 1-1. Goal for Leeds. Bamford. To which the Footy Social immediately tweets them with, we want our dogs back. Ken Rustler's Burger writes, woof. Josh writes, fuck's sake, lads. Who's surprised by Leicester lately? I'm not. Faze might be worse than Cooper and Firpo. Firpo's not the worst offender in our team. Firpo is fine. He's absolutely fine. I will not have this. People are free to have their opinions, but I will not have the Firpo slander on the We All Love Leeds show. He is doing what Daniel Farke asks of him. And he has saved our hides a lot this season, to be fair to him. It's the greatest. Oh, hang on 1 second. So Somerville makes some space. It's a post. And our hopes were dashed, basically. And at the end, Farker basically shakes hand with God, according to Andy Hinchcliffe, because Andy Hinchcliffe Sky would not shut up about the Huddersfield manager. What's his name? Andre Writer. Like, I was fascinated by it. It was just, I can't get around it. It's just, I know, like, commentators are neutral or whatever, and I don't think the commentary is usually as biased against Leeds as a lot of people think it is, but it was like, you know, when they're trying to like tell the story or a narrative across the 90. Very heavy, very heavy. Which is why you'll find Leeds are on TV a lot away from home. If Leeds play on TV at 3 o'clock on a Saturday, it will tend to be at Ellen Road. If we're on TV, it'll be an away game because Sky know they're going to get all the stands will be full because the away end will be filled, and everyone and the home fans will turn up because Leeds are in town. I know people could say, "Oh, this sounds a bit arrogant," but I think you'll find it pretty bit true. And then they can sit there and feed the narrative of an upset, like or little Huddersfield of and I'm not saying disrespect Huddersfield, but the TV does that by how they frame it. But anyway, one hell of a shift that lads from Huddersfield, and you know what, they worked hard defensively. Let's be fair. Leeds are held to a 1-1 draw. The thing about this is we drew, but it felt like a loss. Just felt like a funeral. Quite frankly, it was just. I think it is important to contextualise this though. With out of the last 10 games, we have accrued 28 points. Like, I really think we should not get past our impressive that actually is. But it just didn't go for us yesterday. A lot of it our own doing. A lot of it they're doing. That's football. TV viewership numbers do not lie. Cowboys, Lakers, Yankees moved on in the States. They do. Where's your Tonto? Tonto is unavailable this evening, unfortunately. But he did send in some stuff, John. Don't you worry, sir. But yeah, this is the thing. I was saying to Brownie before that Leeds Cardiff, the week before the Premier League season started, Leeds and Cardiff were the TV slot, the prime TV slot, and it got over 1 million viewers on Sky. Like, that's Premier League television numbers. Bamford has to be in the running for Ballon d'Or. Let's be fair, in 2024, Bamford has 11 goal involvements in the 2024 year alone. I think it's 9 goals, 2 assists. It's in like 800 minutes or something like that. I mean, that's impressive for any striker in any level if we're being fair to him. Which we are being fair to him, because I like to think we are fair to people except Manchester United and Chelsea and Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United and Everton and Nottingham Forest and West Ham United and Port Vale. I don't know what they did to us. Well, apart from saying in like 1919 or something like that. But anyway, the point is, there's a lot of teams and I hate them all. But anyway, LUFC Data asked our man Johnny Cooper over at Opta, Leeds' 78.6% share of the possession against Huddersfield is the highest we've ever recorded in a competitive match since data was being recorded. The previous most was 77 against Wigan. And ironically, we've won neither of those matches. So there is something to be said about if you have most of the ball, you better do something with it. Because if you don't, you look like an even bigger pack of prats. Don't forget Charlton. I know one hates Charlton. They're threatening no one. Even when they beat Leeds at 1-0 in September 2019, it was like, we'll have them another day. And we did. 4-0. So things happen. We'll see what Google made. Yeah, see, 79% possession. But I can't in any way sit here and say we deserve to win. And I know we peppered their goal for the the last 20 minutes following our goal. But other than him hitting the post, the outside of the post, we still didn't ever really look like scoring, in my opinion. And that was part of what made it so maybe frustrating. Maybe I could be wrong there. I don't know. Don't really care right now, but yeah, like almost over triple the amount of passes. Just all these things that add up to why it's so disappointing that we didn't win and why it feels like a loss. But thank you, Director John, for putting that together. In the Championship, the rest of the scores were West Brom on Friday nights. It's like a marriage made in heaven, of course. They beat Coventry. Rotherham lost 1-0 on Sheffield Wednesday, because of course they did. Sheffield Wednesday hitting form right now, like picking up points left, right, and centre. I wonder who their next game will be. I wonder. So Cardiff got a win at Bristol City. Impressive. I suspect Brownlee is pleased because inching, they are not going to go down. But, you still have to get the points to when people say you'll be all right. You still need to get the points to actually be all right. Birmingham dropped points against Southampton because, of course, they did. Preston and Hull played out in a 0-0 draw, which I'm pretty sure didn't get a lot of highlight time on TV. Swansea beat Blackburn. Norwich creeping up. I'm sure they're in the playoff battle, even if they're not in the places. Millwall beat Watford. Stoke beat Middlesbrough. Leicester lost at home to QPR. But of course, Ipswich beat Plymouth with one of the luckiest goals you'll ever see in your life, which is basically the Ipswich Town MO this season. Nothing ever bounces against them. It's incredible. Somerville needs to sit out for a game, put Nottingham in his spot, put James on the right. They're not going to drop Somerville with his current output. I don't think it's an unfair shout of you, but at the same time, I don't think they're ever actually going to do it. Because then if you do that and it goes wrong, it then becomes, why didn't you play one of our best players? It's similar to so I will read that out in a second, Colonel. It's similar to Tottenham not playing Harry Kane in the Champions League final. You can stomach it if you play him and then you end up losing, but which they did. But it would have been even more criticised had they not played him and ended up losing. Sent a pic on Twitter of Welling United rant about Braintree. What happened to Braintree fans? He hasn't been great lately. The problem is with players like him at this level, it's like Ruter. I think Ruter's not been great for the last 2 or 3 games, but the fact of the matter is he's got moments in those games which are why you keep those players on, even when they're not great, because when something happens, it happens. It can come out of nothing. But anyway, that being said, this is obviously how the table is shaping up. I mean, I'll say we're not quite in the business end of the season yet, but we're approaching it. That being said, Cardiff into the top half now. So that's impressive, Brownie. Norwich and Preston are chasing down. I mean, the gentleman that said Preston are going to finish third, I'm guessing that is out of a dislike of Leeds United because it can't be out of like common sense. I'm not saying even if Leeds are going to finish third, I'm just saying you're not going to pull 20 points on someone. I say that even though we pulled 70, or what was it? We ended up pulling like 12 points back on Leicester, I suppose. So, yeah, I probably should shut my mouth up about that. That is why rotation discussions are only prevalent when you're winning. Rotate and lose, the world will shatter. Exactly. Exactly right. But yeah, so Ipswich have leaps Leeds into second spot. And yeah, It's getting tight up there. I mean, technically, we did pull point on Leicester again, but could have easily been 3 points behind Leicester at this point. But that being said, it's a long way to go yet. Long way to go. So, our predictions for March have already come unstuck, I suppose, with the draw, because we both expected to win. Although in the cup game, we were also both wrong, but it ended up being the middle score to what we both thought it'd be. Funny that. But anyway, so on to the next games. There's midweek. It's a double game week, so we're at home to Stoke, Leeds United home to Stoke, of course. Ipswich home, Bristol City. Southampton home to Preston on Wednesday. Oh, and Leicester go away to Sunderland, so that's going to be a difficult trip for them as well. So this could easily turn on its head again. And then on Saturday, obviously, also Friday night, Leeds play Tuesday, Friday. We go away to Sheffield Wednesday. Ipswich go to Cardiff. Leicester are away to Hull. And Southampton at home to Sunderland. So, I believe you did, John. Was almost as embarrassing of the TikTok of someone saying Frimpong of Bayern Leverkusen is a shit striker. Oh yeah, you're right back and right midfielder. Not himself. Not his fault. I believe you did, John. Thank you for your work. Or thank you for your help. So I'm not with it at all today. Although it is now time for It's the Wanker of the Week. I couldn't hold that note this week. But anyway, well, I can't hold it any week. But anyway, Mr. Ben has described the Wanker of the Week, Jonathan Hogg. He's a veiny one this week. Anyway, but he then decided he needed to upgrade him because of his actions in just being a dirty little fucker who decided to try and kill Junior Firpo. Unacceptable. So he is the complete and utter see you next Tuesday of the week. The complete and utter see you next Tuesday of the week. Well done, Jonathan Hogg. Your veiny elbow deserved it. Or earned it. Anyway, as I may have alluded to earlier, this is the thing I'm probably going to end up doing most weeks now. I would have awarded the WOTW of the week to Andy Hinchcliffe, but he would get it every week. So we obviously try to go for different people. He certainly does. Man, so vain he should be getting piss tested. Yeah, he certainly does. Other than that, I collected a selection of Andy Hinchcliffe tweets on comments that have his name in it and are about him. So, for example, in an attacking sense, whatever option a player chooses, unless it results in a goal, is never the option he had chosen. He must have been some player. Sky Sports Football. Can you please get rid of Andy Hinchcliffe from commentary? He's awful, just like his playing career. Bang average. Anyone remember how good a player Andy Hinchcliffe was? Because that's all he does is criticise players for not doing this or that. Please have a word. He's awfully negative. Andy Hinchcliffe must have been some player. Andy Hinchcliffe on Somerville. He tried to be too precise, going with power over precision, so not being precise then. Andy Hinchcliffe does my head in. He should have done this, should have done that. Easy fucking game from the commentary box. Andy Hinchcliffe talks utter shite as if there's a theme to this, isn't there? Talks utter shite as if he's Messi. Andy Hinchcliffe slabbering shit again. And last one, I promise. Andy Hinchcliffe reckons that's not a booking. He hates teams that play in blue. Even Huddersfield fans think he's shit. Anyway, I wish Andy Hinchcliffe would fuck off, Craig Davenport. At Davenport_Craig says. RGL Fitness says, Andy Hinchcliffe, you're a fucking idiot. His only intention is to stop him getting to the ball. Twice in quick succession, he's cleared a bloke out in the air. Chinny Andy Hinchcliffe, says James L_UFC. Our neighbours must think Andy Hinchcliffe's name is Fuck Off Hinchcliffe in this house. By Mr. Paul Robinson. No bitterness. That's Huddersfield on the hit list for 10 years. The thing is, I've discovered through doing this sort of thing, looking for things on Twitter, it's not just Leeds he hates. Every team thinks the commentator hates them. But he really doesn't like us. I don't know what we did to him. But there's Ipswich fans that complain about Don Goodman. But I know, but previously to us being in the chat, like Leeds fans all thought Don Goodman hates us, even though I think Don Goodman supports Leeds. So I think part of the vendetta was the fact that I think he used to be on the schoolboys team and like he didn't make it at Leeds, sort of thing. So I could be wrong there, so whatever. But anyway, so I think we sometimes need to take it with a pinch of salt that the commentator doesn't necessarily hate us, but he really does. When he does praise us, you get that feeling. I know the Arsenal fans watching is going to know exactly what I'm talking about because I know there are commentators that they think are biased against them, and like when they do praise them, it's through gritted teeth. I feel that about Andy Hinchcliffe. Not that it should matter because he's a commentator, so the players can't hear it. So in that moment, it doesn't matter what he thinks. But anyway. If anyone wondered, that was the Who Scored Team of the Week in the Championship. I'm sure that's Lewis Baker of Stoke, who used to play for Leeds. I'm sure of it. So get ready for him to put in the shift of his life on Tuesday. Anyway, before we go, there's just one thing that needs to be resolved. Well, usually on our games it's Cargill or never. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but they'd hate us too. So, unsurprisingly. It's time for the Mr. Tom question of the week. The Mr. Tom question of the week. Name these 11 players who have played for both Chelsea and Leeds United. You have NS, a bag of Doritos, VJ, MD, DG, DH, DR, LB, DM, Jimmy Slade from Baywatch, and TAF. So our correct answers so far are Joni Dorigo. It's not correct, but I'll accept it because the word Joni amuses me. But he obviously corrects himself to Tony. Vinnie Jones is correct. Michael Dewberry is correct. Yeah, Hasselbank, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, correct, Colonel and Jimmy, with Mr. Tom's not so imaginative question of the week. Well, I need us to get promoted so I can keep this stuff going for another year before I have to start thinking of it is. What's David Hasselhoff got to do with Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank? It's not Di Matteo. Neil Sullivan, yeah, the goalkeeper, Neil Sullivan. Rocastle, correct. A clue. A clue is I've literally just mentioned one of these players when talking about Stoke. Hello, Glenn. How you doing? Tor Andre Flo. So, got the goalkeeper. Yep, David Hopkin. Yep. Excuse me. Good. Get the list for confirmation. Yep. You haven't. None of you have got DM yet. None of you got LB, DG. Yeah, I think you got 3 left. Yep, still waiting on LB. Matteo Dominic. Yeah, that was very good. It's not right, but it's very good. And yeah, Torandro Flo did play for Leeds when Dennis Wise was our manager. So he brought in his mates. Russ, about 3 minutes ago, you said Michael Dewberry, which was correct, by the way. Correct, Danny Granville. He went from Chelsea to Leeds, and I believe he could not get in the O'Leary team for 99-2000, so we loaned him to, I think we sold him Man City. Imagine playing for Leeds in between 2 of the plastic clubs, before they were plastic clubs. He is not on this list, but you are correct. Ethan Ampadu would be on this list, yeah. Like I say, it's not just 11 players, but this is an 11 that I could fit into a formation. So, yeah, this is a good example of it's right, but it's not on this. Although saying Ethan Ampadu played for Chelsea is generous, because I think they loaned him out about 900 times. Technically, Patrick Bamford would be on this, because he also played for Chelsea, but played for about 900. Yeah, exactly. Never played the league. I'll be surprised if he had. In fact, I might look it up now. Do excuse me, gentlemen. Patrick Bamford played. Yeah, no Premier League appearances for Chelsea. He didn't even get into the cup teams. No appearances for Chelsea. Across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, no appearances. But I believe we are looking for LB and DM. Hello, Mr. Greenwood. How are you doing, sir? I'll give you a clue again. You might not have been here to hear it, Glenn, to be fair to you. I did mention LB when talking about the team of the week for the championship. And the other one, DM, jumped over a car once. I probably actually should have told Director John that, because that could have been the clue for him. Hello, Chris Nix. How are you, sir? And Lesbian Ballbag and Dick Gag. That could be an answer for next week's question. I don't know why. I should just tailor make something to fit around that. Duncan McKenzie. Oh, correct. I only know that. I never saw in it. I know it because I used to have a VHS tape of, again, Jody Morris did play for both. I'm sure, yeah, because he was one of Dennis Wise's mates that came over. I'm sure Jody Morris played for Leeds. When I went to Real Madrid versus Leeds in 2001, I got my mum to tape the match on VHS. No, hang on, I didn't do that. We got someone in the family to do it because they had the old ITV digital thing. But anyway, and on that tape, before the game, they were talking to Duncan McKenzie, and then they put up the photo of him jumping over the car. It was a Mini. Jumping over a Mini, and that explained, and I don't know why, that always just sat in my head, obviously, because not thing you hear about many footballers, do you? But Stuart McCall, but he fell out of a car pissed. Wouldn't be the first footballer to have done that. But yeah, got one more, and I've already said his name during this show. That's what I was for. Yep, ITV Digital Hat Boxes, good old days. They once, I remember reading in a newspaper, back when you read your newspapers for information, of course, there was a Friday night game on EFL game on ITV Digital. I think it was called On Digital at the time. Could be wrong. And I think they managed to work out the viewership for that particular game. I can't remember the name of the team. Let's just say, for argument's sake, it would have been like Paul Val versus Bosnia, whatever. And it was like 80 people watched it on telly. But they'd already, like, football clubs had already spent the TV money that On Digital were going to give them. So then when it failed, that was when football clubs first started going into administration and stuff like that, because they'd spent the TV money that they didn't end up receiving. Anyway, obviously that's a story for another time. But what period did DG play? That's Danny Granville. That was, to be fair, Mr. Greenwood, Mr. Hayes got that 5 minutes ago. But the only one that has not been answered yet, I believe, is LB. Because to be fair, the Doritos packet was instantly picked up as Tony Dorigo. And the middle one is Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank, despite it being David Senior. Yeah, Hasselhoff, yeah. Okay. I was trying to work out, like, which cast member of Baywatch is named Jimmy. But I see what Director John did now. To be fair, I've not been with it for like a day or so. So anyway. I will literally sit here all night until someone tells me who LB is. It's not true. I'll just throw up the answer in a second. But he played for Ello Leeds in the Bielsa era, and he is one of the. He's basically one of the Chelsea loan army. Is Lee Brodkin a real person, Colonel? But he's basically like, I think he played 2 games for Chelsea. Like, he played 2 cup games for Chelsea and then got sent out on loan to 100 teams. Probably 8 teams. Probably. At least I weren't wrong for distrusting that he was a real person, I suppose. Yeah, but. And again, when I put up the thing, I'll give you another clue. He's literally in the championship team of the week on who scored. I put it up 10 minutes ago. It's a real. He's on it. He was in the championship team of the week. Yes. No, it's not Liam Baker. God damn it, Jimmy. I mean, I can't blame you for not knowing who this guy is because he played in the championship playoff semi-final loss to Derby, I believe. He came on and it was he tried one of these long-range free kicks where if it had gone in, he'd have been a hero, and if it didn't, it'd be a 0. And it never, so he was a 0. Sorry if you hear this, mate, but yeah, them's the breaks, right? He played 2 games for Chelsea. 2 cup games. Fact. I'll confirm it. He played 1 game in 2000. He played 1 game in 2013-14 in the FA Cup, and then he played 1 game in the FA Cup for him in 2001-22 because it was 8 years apart. I remember it being a thing. It's like one of the longest games. It's one of the longest time periods in between a person making 2 appearances for a club. Yeah, January 2014 made his appearance as an 87th minute substitute for Oscar against Derby, and then played again in 2022. It's crazy. Yeah, in a 5-1 win over Chesterfield in the Cup. That's like saying Kim Colston won a stat penalty shootout. Did he? I've no idea. Wasn't it Huddersfield and they got promoted, got injured for us? That sounds correct. That sounds exactly like the sort of thing that had happened to Leeds. So, no, actually, he played for Middlesbrough on loan. Be fair to him, he's made 77 league appearances for Stoke since 2022, though. So, I mean, good for him, really. But Sam Greenwood says, did he do Miss Marple in the library with the candlestick? Possibly. I mean, You still haven't got it right, gentlemen or ladies. What am I talking about? It's only men watching this. Of course it was Colonel Mustard. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. I can't do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The answer is... It's Lewis Baker. Yeah, it was Baker. But I'm a pedant, and I'm not accepting Lee, Leon, L, Lee, Liam. Hello, Anders. How you doing? Can we do players that have played for both Derby and Leeds? Yes, I am a pedant file. Thank God for correct pronunciation. No, we cannot do that, Colonel, because Derby are shit and they've not made it even to the Championship lately. So, terrible that he's almost collectively gone from history in 4 years. Twanzo Flo was magic. Not for Leeds, he wasn't. He played in, to be fair to him, he played in a terrible Leeds team. And yeah, David Hasselhoff with a thumbs up. I believe he was their third choice keeper, so he would no doubt have been playing cup games as well. But I can double check that for you, Russ. It would help if I typed in Neil Sullivan instead of Neil Dullivan, but probably a Freudian slip, I suppose. Right, so he played for Chelsea in 2003, 2004, and he actually made 4 appearances in the league, 4 in the cup. Sorry, 2 in the League Cup, 2 in the FA Cup, so he actually played 8 times for Chelsea. Sam, you're exactly right. He did play for Spurs. I mean, he's most known for obviously playing for Wimbledon, which he did for 10 years, give or take his year at Crystal Palace on loan. Then went to Tottenham, Chelsea to Leeds, and then we loaned him to Doncaster, where he then was for till 2013. And then he finished at AFC Wimbledon in 2013. So, yeah, there is that. He was the Leeds Academy goalkeeping coach at some point. So, yeah. I'm ring Lord Greenwood later, getting to have you deported back to Leeds, Tom. Oh, please don't. I want to go back to bed. Sullivan play. Yeah, oh, sorry, I did already answer that for you, Mr. Greenwood. Why is David Hasselhoff called the Hoff? Because he doesn't like the hassle. Ha ha ha. But perfectly on brand for Mr. Nix, of course. That being said, I think I should roughly wrap it up here, unless anyone's got any questions, I suppose. Would be polite to offer out. I don't think TV people are allowed to call him dickhead, Chris. That makes sense. So next week, I'm assuming we will. That's exactly true. But not just the German birds. Sometimes the Leeds supporting men. Anyway, the nostalgia bug hit me sometimes. Anyway, so next week we will be in. Hopefully, Mr. Ben will be back, and we will be going over the midweek game between Leeds United versus Stoke City and the Friday night game between Sheffield Wednesday and Leeds United on Sunday, same time as every week. I actually did set the show for 9:30 this week, and then realised only 4 minutes before I was about to go on air, and then I had to quickly change that. But anyway, Colonel Ward asks, if you go on a date with Ryland or Prince Andrew, who would you choose? Well, probably Ryland, because, well, you know what's going to happen. Whereas, like, you don't know what island you're going to be dropped on if you date Prince Andrew. Anyway, what? Wait, what? Have a good evening. Thank you, Mr. Greenwood. I'm hoping to turn up for my praise tonight, Mr. Tom. I predicted we'd beat Chelsea in it. Why would you get praise? That didn't happen. You never even went to extra time, sir. Yeah. Well, I nearly won the lottery yesterday. I just didn't put the £2.50 on it. I don't mean to sound that dickish. I think the logic's still sound though. But no, seriously. I mean, you were right in that we never got turned over. So, yeah, I'll give you that, sir. Take care, chat. All the best. And Ryback for him. Feed him more. It's a wrestling reference. Most of the people here don't know what we just said. Anyway, so, yeah. As always, I want to thank Director John for his hard work. You are right, but again, I can't praise something that never happened. But come back next week and I'll think of something to praise you for. I'm sure you have a fantastic moustache, sir. Anyway, thank you, Colonel, for that. But seriously, take care, Glenn. Take care, Jimmy. Thank you for all your support, gentlemen, as always. I really should have like the exit video queued up, really, shouldn't I, when I do this sort of stuff? Them's the breaks, lads. So, Leeds.